Welcome back to another session. It's Mr. John from John's Online Education. Today we're looking at multiplying of or solving of two binomials. This is under quadratic equations. With 3x plus 10, close bracket, open bracket, x minus 5, close bracket, equal to 0. Again, this falls under quadratic equations, binomials, which is a polynomial, right? So there are a couple ways to solve this question. One, we can expand it, right? But this would sort of be the long way around and kind of just overall defeats the purpose of it. And today we're going to be looking at the short way, right? So what we're going to do is when you have two binomials, you need to equate one of them to the 0 separately. So 3x plus 10 needs to be equal to 0 on its own, and x minus 5 needs to be equal to 0 on its own. So let's go ahead. So rewriting it, it's going to look at like 3x plus 10 is equal to 0. And on the other hand, we're going to have x minus 5 is equal to 0. Then what we're going to do, since as it's plus 10 here, I'm going to zoom in so I could zero in on what I'm talking about. Since as it's plus 10 here, we need to subtract 10 on both sides. Ten minus 10 is going to give you 0, leaving just the 3x. And 0 minus 10 is going to give you negative 10. For anybody that want to 0 minus 10, in fact, is negative 10. Right? As well as 10 minus 10 would give you 0. And that's when we just put back the 3x. Now at this point, what is happening between the 3 and the x is multiplication. This is multiplication, so we need to use the inverse of multiplication, which is division. So we need to divide now by 3 on both sides so that the x can be left by itself. So the 3's would cancel off, leaving x is equal to negative 10 over 3. The thing with binomials is you would always get two answers. Always. There's always two answers involved. So we found one answer. Let's go and find the next one. At this point, pause the video and see if you could find the remaining solution. Okay. So since this is negative 5, I'm going to have to add 5 on both sides. Negative 5 plus 5, that's going to be 0. So I just bring back the x. And 0 plus 5 is 5. Therefore, my two solutions for this quadratics would be negative x is equal to negative 10 over 3, and x is equal to positive 5. Let's look at our next example. Hopefully, it's time to catch the hang of it. We have 2x plus 5, close bracket, open bracket, 6, and probably put this in a different color. 6x minus 3 close bracket is equal to 0. Alright, so pause the video and take a minute or so to solve the binomials, the product of two binomials. Remember, when you're solving, you need to get two answers, right? There will always be two answers for x. Okay, so let me start. First, I'm going to start by equating. Remember, each one of them needs to be equal to 0 on its own. So we're going to start there. So what I have is 2x plus 5 is equal to 0. And 6x minus 3 is also equal to 0. You want to start with the addition or the subtraction, these type of operators, simply because they have less of a bond, right? It's like first in, it's like last in, first out. So let's say the overall consensus is that, let's say, a company would have had some new employers, right? Just some new entry-level basic employers. And then by the next month, they would have been dealt a devastating financial blow, and they have to cut back on costs. What they will do is they will let go the employees that would have no came in, right? As opposed to the employees that would have been there for years, because when you let them go, you have to pay them a large sum of money for all the years of services they would have built up, right? Gratuity. And this is like the same thing. So we need to subtract 5 on both sides, leaving the 2x is equal to negative 5. Remember, this is the 2 and the x represents multiplication. Because of that, we need to use the inverse of multiplication. And I'm saying the inverse of multiplication, which simply means to undo. So therefore, we need to divide by 2. Let's divide by 2 on both sides. The 2 here would cancel out, leaving just the x. Therefore, x is equal to negative 5 over 2. And that would be one of the solutions. So once again, pause the video, and this time take 10 seconds to solve the last remaining solution. Okay, it should be ample time. Again, the 3, this time the 6 and the x represent multiplication, so we need to deal or remove the operation of subtraction, right? So for this to happen, we need to get rid of negative 3, we need to add 3. When we add 3, we add 3 on both sides. So now that leaves us with 6x is equal to positive 3. And now, since as the 6 and the x is multiplication, we need to do the inverse of multiplication, which is division. So we need to divide by 6 on both sides. The 6 would cancel off. Therefore, x is equal to, and this can be reduced. 3 can go into 3 once, and 3 can go into 6 twice. So therefore, x is equal to a half. So our two solutions for this binomial quadratic equation is x is equal to -5/2 and x is equal to a half. This is Mr. John. I hope this video was helpful to you in any shape, form, or fashion. And if so, let me know, and I'm going to give you one more to go. Comment down below the solutions for this answer. Remember, there are two solutions. Right? So two solutions would be needed. It's Mr. John, and I'm out.